I'm thrilled to introduce you to Victoria. She's our guest today. We're going to be talking about what it takes to build a coaching business. We're going to be talking about her niche, all the steps that she's taken to actually create incredible success in a very short amount of time, not just in her business, but honestly in all areas of her life. I'll let Victoria get started and tell you all about it. Welcome, Victoria.
Hi everyone, such a pleasure to be here. I love being on your podcast. It's not the first time, right? Like we
Yep.
already had some Summit
Yep.
podcasts, so check it out as well. And I'm Victoria. I'm a body mind well-being coach, and I coach busy, successful women. I help them to feel safe in their bodies so they can release the tension from their bodies and quiet their busy minds. So this is what I do. I work with nervous system and I help you to go from your fight or flight that you don't even know you are in, and I help you to go to your resting mode so that you can actually relax and release the tension that you're storing since forever.
That is literally every person that is listening, Victoria. I'm telling you, when you talk about that, how many people have tension? They have tension that they don't even know really to the degree of the tension that they have. The fight or flight thing, how we are working through our lives, moving through the world, and we don't even realize it. I mean, that's virtually everybody, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And we are living in this culture that really glamorizes the hustle, overworking, exhaustion, so that you maybe need to even like earn permission to rest. And once you already feel like you really need to rest, then that's already too late. You have to learn to rest before you are hitting the edge. But then there is a lot of nuances to it because we live in a culture that doesn't even teach us. Like it's actually, we are taught to overwork
Yeah.
ourselves. And especially as women, it's always because also for our biology that is like extra sensitive to environment, we have to rest much more or in a different way. And we can actually do more if we can really rest more and especially efficiently, because the women that come to me, they look amazing on the outside, and I mean, yeah, they look amazing, they are put together, and also they are successful, they look like, oh, we have it, like that she has it all together, that she always goes for things and she's successful at her career, but inside she's dying and things don't feel right anymore. And at this point, I coach women who come to me because they think they tried everything. So this is this point where they're like, okay, tell me what to do. I do anything. Please just help me.
I love that. So when we came to work together, you said, Debbie, I coach on yoga and I'm going to be like a yoga coach. And again, I'm not using the exact words, so forgive me for that, Victoria, but I remember saying, no, that's not enough. That can't be enough. And the deeper that you went, like you just explained something that is far beyond being a yoga teacher, right? Do you want to talk about that? And you have a lot of training, by the way.
Yes, 100%. And this also shows the thing that coaching, that you're coaching in your program is helped me with significantly. And this is what is the essence of the business, the most important thing from everything that I learned by now about the business, that it requires crystal clear clarity. And this our kind of like, let's say, misunderstanding on what I was trying to explain. I couldn't explain it to you, and you were understanding the things that I was telling you based on what I was telling you. So that
Yeah.
only showed that's why my business was not working. And I know I was onto something, that I was doing already deep work with people. And yeah, I have a lot of training. I've been trained as a professional dancer since I was 5 years old. So I do these things for over 25 years by now, and working with body, finding better ways of like how to really feel good. I went through my own severe injury, and this is when I healed myself, and this is when these things deepen. And then I started to help people. I also worked as a massage therapist. So I touched, literally physically, I touched hundreds, thousands of people, and I was able to see throughout the years what's working and what's not working. So
Yeah.
all my work right now is this synthesis of what really works, on how to really help you to release the tension and how to decrease your pain and how to calm down your mind. And this is what I am able to say with this much clarity after working with you for last 5 months, which the time I think doesn't really matter because this process is very individual. It just for me, this is the growth I had in last 5 months is it's really amazing. I can see it very well, like the structure that I built, because even just the online structure that I was always self-employed and hustling and doing things, but I think the online I started like over 2 years ago already, and it was just not working like the way I wanted, or but I was just all in the chaos. So this work with you is like, okay, clarity, clarity, clarity. And for me, it's a coping mechanism, like my protective mechanism. So I shut down and go into the chaos. So for me, this growth with you and through the business is like, okay, clarity, clarity, clarity. Okay, if my own coach doesn't understand me, then no way my clients will understand me, right?
And I have to tell you, when you just said to me what you, and to everyone else what you did, I was literally in my mind going, yep, that was so clear, so interesting, so compelling. I mean, I got every bit of what you were saying. So, Victoria, I completely agree. There's been so much growth there. And I really, just from a coach to a client perspective, I knew that you were really special and I didn't want to diminish. I didn't want to give you a label that would diminish the depth of what you were actually telling me that you were doing with people. And it's hard to explain. And I remember saying to you, use the word nervous system just now. And I remember saying in the beginning, you can't say that. But the way that you just described it with those other things, it makes perfect sense. But if you're just talking about somebody's nervous system to the general public, they're like, what? But if you're talking about overthinking and being tense and being, you add it into there, then everybody's like, oh yeah, mine is shot. Like they understand. So just even that, you're right, clarity. You really explained it well, what you do. And the person who should be talking to you and connecting with you would hear that.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, it's such a great thing to also hear from you as your coach. And now, what I thought I want to say to everyone that's gonna sign up with you after this podcast, to any future client or even any current client, that you also as a client you have to be persistent, because what happened on our communication, because I was like, as again, like I was really, I knew I'm onto something and you recognized it, that it's much deeper. But because life was happening, and yeah, I was consulting to these 5 stars resorts primarily as a yoga teacher. So that's why I was like, okay, let's hold on to this identity because this is something that it's already working, right? But then the whole point of coming here was going and is going to a deeper layer. So to everyone, if Debbie is there, like genuinely, she's the most like loving and really caring person that I've ever encountered in the industry. She's never gonna get like impatient with you or anything. She'll be like, yes, okay, you wanna shift a little the angle? Yes, because that's what you felt. And it took me like a lot of conversations, right? Like we already had
Mhm.
the draft written, and then I was like, but no, it's not,
Mhm.
it's still not this, you don't understand. And I was like, yeah, because I cannot explain it. But I was like, no, 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 it's not this. So I was like, okay, again. And Debbie creates and her team creates such a safe environment in the program, in the container that we have, that I felt completely safe and encouraged to continue my discovery. Because ultimately, if you are already on your business journey or you're on the edge of stepping into it, ultimately, this is the biggest personal transformation that you will go into. And I say it, I was like on all sorts of spiritual journeys, and I traveled to South America and India, and I've been everywhere to meet some gurus. Nothing like business if it comes to personal transformation and actually facing your shadows. Because if you want to make money, if you want to serve your client, your person, you will
Mhm.
need to face your shadows first. This is absolutely unapologetic law in business.
For sure. And almost everybody comes to do the work that they want to do, and they're interested in that work because of whatever was going on with them. So you sort of bring your own, I don't want to say baggage, but you bring your own this identity with you. And yeah, it's a lot. It's things that you don't even understand. And Victoria, I appreciate so much because you have been willing to ask questions and coaching that other people might think, but they won't ask. And you've been, again, unapologetic about asking the questions. And that is only how you ever get clear on things. That what you sense that you wanted to do that you didn't have words for could only be revealed through a series of continuing to ask questions and continue to say, well, what do you think? And what do you, yeah, I mean, it really, sometimes there's more work done. And that's actually how you really create the right business for you. It really is your framework now.
Yes, 100%. I was always unapologetic about things I want and how I want them. So ultimately, the business is about it because you build it. And this is what you also always remind us that, hey, okay, if you don't like something, it's actually on you because you created it, right? So it's also on you to be able to change it. So always reminding myself that I'm here because I want to create freedom. And through creating freedom for myself, my mission is to help create freedom within the body. And then once you
Yes.
create the freedom within your own system, then you radiate the freedom and then you can start creating this freedom. All it is just going to be reflected in all layers of your reality, because since my medium of work is through the body, everything starts from the body and ends in the body. And once we understand it, then we actually can feel like first trap and first prison that we have. If the body is aching and is tensed, then we don't have any joy, any pleasure. We don't even think of it, right? Because if you're in pain, you cannot really think of anything else than this pain. So that's why this is like emergency. Hey, you have to, like, it's costing you your life, your real life, your joy, that you don't do anything about the pain in your body and the tension.
So when somebody comes to you, Victoria, what are they usually experiencing? And tell me about how somebody that is listening might say, wow, I got to talk to this lady. What's their day to day look like that they're thinking, I am this? What is that person?
Okay, first word, like just one word, what the people experience. So they're like this, and
Hmm.
there's a relief. That's
Yeah.
one word. Yeah. And why they come, or with what, in what state they come, and what is the process, what is the transformation they go through. First of all, releasing the pressure from themselves, realizing that's not something wrong with their body, because these type of women, the super go-getters and high achievers, they always put pressure on themselves, and then they start looking for things to be fixed in their systems, in their bodies. And this is a lot of pressure to have. And so the first thing is to recognizing that it's actually nothing wrong with me. It's this pressure that I was never meant to really carry, because that's the thing. We focus on the things that we can change. So we can't change this, how the world is going. So when I'm saying you slow down, it's actually, you don't have to slow down anything that's happening outside. What you slow down is your breath. And if you slow down internally and you create the space within your body, within your system, and therefore within your mind, then things, the life will continue and you will be on top. Actually, you will start being on top of the things, but with ease. So we are creating ease so that you don't exhaust yourself, and they're just opposite. You can start thriving in your reality, and then everything starts fitting into place. So we just shift the whole focus on the inward, on yourself, and we start from the body, because this is where it all starts, and this is what is overlooked in other approaches.
Hey, coaches, it's Debbie Shadid here. I've got something very special for you. If you're trying to figure out how to get coaching clients on your own and you're wondering what to post, how to explain what you do, or how to actually sell your coaching, this is for you. I'm inviting you to join me for a live edition of the Fast Track and VIP coaching experiences. This is your chance to stop spinning in indecision and finally take those actions that are needed to build a profitable coaching business. You'll get the answers, the guidance, the support you're looking for, plus real-time feedback on your niche, your offers, and your marketing. Spots are very limited and enrollment closes soon. Let's connect. debbieshadid.com/schedule to claim your spot and to talk about your options. Let's get you clients faster and easier than you ever imagined. So when you start with the body, I would imagine, I'd like to be in your sessions. When you start with the body and you're helping somebody over a period of time, what comes out of their mouth and through their mind that they discover, I'm sure is a lot because they're shifting things in their body. It brings new identity awareness, I guess I should say, mental awareness. Is that right?
Yes, 100%. And they finally, my clients, this happens every time. So every client says, oh, wow, I actually see that taking care of my body and being able to release this tension is very simple because they
Yeah.
live in the reality where they were fearing it because it's very much cultural thing where in our culture once you have a disease, when you are labeled with some diagnosis or like some health condition, some injury, once someone is given a name for it, this becomes the identity. So we are working always on separating this, that this is not your sentence. And then it turns out that it all comes down to the nervous system regulation, and because prolonged chronic stress causes chronic inflammation in the body. Once there is inflammation, imagine that there's like a fire going on, a constant fire. So the body doesn't have the time. The only thing that the body can do is pour some water on top of it. But if you're constantly in distress, then the fire is actually always going on. So there is never a moment when the fire is off completely and the body actually can regenerate. So what we are doing, we are actually putting the fire down for good. And we're learning how to react without panic, just calmly. When the fire goes up, then we're like, okay, I put it down again so that my body can go into the regenerative state again. And then it's like a self-healing machine, and the tension never can have even anything to hold on to once you are able to regulate your nervous system, which means that you can switch from fight or flight to the resting mode, rest digest, right?
A self-healing machine. I love it. That is so, so good. Well, let me back up here because we could talk about that part forever, but I want anybody who's listening to hear about your journey. I remember one time recently you mentioned on a call and that you'd been working on your business for 10 years. Or maybe you'd been in business or something in passing about that. And I remember thinking, wait, what? 10 years? Tell me about that.
Yeah, something like this, yes, in different forms. So, what you want to know how it all started? Because in my life, everything, it's that's why I love word holistic because that's very much how I feel about my life. So, my life feels like very much one thing, not like going into another. So sometimes it's very difficult to really feel when it all started, but it
Yeah, yeah.
definitely, if I count it in years, that's definitely quite some time already. Well, I also wanted to create freedom for myself. I always loved traveling and I wanted to create location freedom for myself. I was always interested in the whole world. So I wanted to be able to be everywhere, which is possible for me already for over 5 years. There is nothing that I cannot do. I can work anywhere and be anywhere. So that's why I had interest in online business at some point, but then I didn't know exactly because I worked physically. So I didn't know how to translate it into an online world. So step by step, then I realized that what I'm mostly interested in, and this is my current mission, that I am interested into empowering women into getting back to this state of self-healing machine as your body. And this is what became my main interest. So how I coach, my ethic as a coach is I coach you with the intention that you don't need me,
Yeah.
that I want to give you the tools and I want to coach you, that you only need me for a certain period of time so that I can help you. But ultimately, after some time, after the program time, you don't need me, right? You are equipped with everything you need. So you can go and live your life instead of spending your precious time here on Zoom, right?
Yeah. Oh, so good. So people will come to meet you on Zoom, but you also work touch just a little bit on that, Victoria. You, as a business owner, you also work at these resorts and you do things with people in person as well.
Yes, so I work in luxury wellness and I travel around whole world. Right now my main contracts are in Costa Rica, so this is where you can meet me personally, usually between December and February. So that's the deepest winter in some parts of the world. So then where you can meet me in Costa Rica and you can meet me in Greece, Crete, another resort I work for, and I take care of the wellness program and I make sure that the guests can really make the best out of their stays, which is I teach and train them, coach them on nervous system regulation because then we work in a shorter periods of time, right? Like people usually come for a week, they do their vacation, and they take care of themselves, and I make sure that they can really regenerate and that they can take these tools with them and really increase the quality of their life so they don't have to go through these crashes, because the most tiring thing is ultimately that we go through like high, we rest, and then again life hits. So the whole work is like, okay, how we can bridge this so we don't have to crash that much and really exhaust our system, so how we can create more balance.
I love that. Oh, so yeah, if you want to work with Victoria, she's not just phenomenal at what she does. She's so good that these luxury resorts fly her there. When she said she was going to Greece for, and she was telling me about it, I'm like, wow, okay, that is amazing. So,
Yeah, and
okay, I
also
have to talk. Go ahead.
I love doing this work in person because exactly then I do special immersions in nature. So there is a coaching program, there's a coaching opportunity that I take you to the beach or to the forest, and then we go through this process in these beautiful locations, and it's just completely different level of an experience that you can get yourself into.
Wow. Oh, that sounds so good. And then know how to work once you get home, either with you virtually or have the skills and the understanding to be able to, like you said, put the fire out. I love it. That's such a good visual. So you came to me, we decided, and I say we talked through your niche. You decided really how to better clarify it. I have to brag on you because, boy, you are a go-getter and you created a website, you used our framework and did it, you've spoke at our summit, you got on social media, you have a beautiful Instagram following and activity, you did an email, you have weekly emails, you have got the business structure in place. And what I really appreciate is that, and that's in a very short amount of time, by the way, you did all of this and more in that short amount of time, but you also really have been thoughtful about even your Instagram as you post some, then you were saying, like, okay, now what about this? If this isn't getting this kind of response, what do you think? And you have really discovered what made more sense. I remember in the beginning, you were posting lots of beautiful pictures of the resort, the five-star resorts that you're at. Why not? I mean, it makes sense, but that wasn't actually the thing that you were talking about. So even that is like, sometimes you don't even know. I'm not sure that I would have, in the beginning, I was just glad you were posting. And I'm not sure that it took time for me to also go, wait a minute, like, you're right. This doesn't make sense what you're posting, right? Sometimes you have to do this stuff before you can even get some awareness. You have to take the steps before you can say, wait, this needs to shift. This isn't where I should go. So you have done so much,
Yeah, I
made so
spoke on the
much.
summit, I did workshops, I'm also on YouTube, and I speak a lot personally with people because I meet new people every day. So that's definitely what you always say. Two things about the business itself is that even though I was always trying things out, I was always doing, I still had this mentality that if something, yeah, like in business, let's simplify it. Okay, I did something, it didn't bring me money right away. Okay, failure. No, it's data. So this is the first thing. This is one of the biggest mindset changed about the business that actually before was killing me, and now I am able to just to actually enjoy more and more the whole process of it. Because to be honest, for me, I'm very passionate about the essence of my work, but the reality of business, especially in the beginning, is that you need to get yourself into these building, structuring
Mhm.
aspects, which were not my favorite.
Or probably anyone else's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's be honest, right? Probably.
Yeah.
Because we all come with this dream of, oh, I'm gonna coach people, I'm gonna
Yeah.
go, in
Yeah.
my case, I'm gonna do the retreats and I'm gonna help them. But oh, there is quite a few steps which you explain beautifully. And gosh, I feel like in a business academy, like in the best sense, I really love it because these steps are so understandable and you can learn everything from scratch. And if you don't understand something from the materials that we have, you can always come and ask the same question 100 times and it's
Yeah.
completely fine. Or someone else asks these questions and you can just like
Yeah.
really learn. And mindset wise, if it comes to business, this separation between my emotions and that a post or like how the post does, that it doesn't mean anything about my value and my worth. It has nothing to do with me as a person. It's only to collect data and then, okay, should I continue? How can I do it better? Is this message well enough crafted for my audience? This is business, not anything else actually. So assessing, and so definitely this during this program and where I'm in the container, I build even more self-awareness, and it's amazing. It translates to any other area of your life. So actually,
Yeah.
you might end up, which is my case, you might end up having improving your personal relationships,
Yeah.
your friendships, your romantic relationship, your family relationships, like through this work, if you really go into it and you're willing to put awareness, your whole life will be transforming and will be transformed.
For sure. And hopefully this is okay if we discuss this, Victoria, but I want to ask you about something that you had some awareness on that I think so many other people aren't willing to ask about or say. But you realize that there might be an upper limit financially. I would say every single person, we all have an upper financial limit because we have this amount of money that we feel our nervous system, let's say, is comfortable receiving. And so when you're new in business, that is one of the obstacles that people, if I said to you, $10,000 might be hard for you to like take, you would be like, are you kidding me? No, it's not a problem. But in reality, once you start doing your business, you do become aware of like, that's interesting. She's right. I probably could say $10,000, but I wouldn't say it. I wouldn't be able to deliver it in the way that really means that I'm ready for it yet. And I don't know if I'm explaining myself well, but do you want to speak to that? I think that's an important piece that a lot of people don't talk about.
Yes, definitely. And yeah, let's say how it is. I hope it helps a lot of people because there is a lot of shame that comes around it, right? Especially
Mhm.
when we start with putting out ourselves. I put myself there out there with my heart, with my soul, then it doesn't get the traction that I want. Then it turns out that saying that you like, because actually, if I ask myself the question, how much, like the number wise, how much is your pain-free body worth to you? It doesn't have a price, right?
Priceless.
Priceless, exactly,
Yeah.
right? Okay, that's one thing. So you can sell it. So actually, there is no upper limit. You can sell it
Yeah.
for as
Yeah.
much as you want. I could say 1, 2 millions. But then, exactly, there is this thing of, and this is where this business play comes. I want to call it play because ultimately
Yeah.
it's like a game. And it's
Yes.
like exactly how you can expand your capacity of receiving. And this is something that we have here in the program with the mindset coaching, right? We have a separate mindset calls. But at some point, once you have a structure in the business, you have to come to the realization that it's mindset, 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 mindset.
Mhm.
And if you're listening to this right now and it doesn't land yet, it's okay. Like it means that you maybe still need some. I was the same. I was exactly the same. I was like, no, it's only like I need to post more or I need to like create this website in a better way. Ultimately, I'm at the point where I know that if one word of my website is here or here, doesn't really matter
It doesn't
anymore.
matter.
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
really matter because most people would not even like my actual clients. don't even look at the website because I would meet them in person. And it's really all the energy and the vibe and your confidence. And if you can say your price,
Yes.
your value with full confidence. And just to add on, with what you do as a coach beautifully, you took me out of shame, like always, being like, hey, but like you did this and this. And even if you sell your program or if you sell your coaching session for like $100 first, okay, you're building up yourself to this
Yeah.
capacity that you can actually sell it
Yeah.
next time for 200 and then for
Yeah.
300.
Yeah.
Like it's actually really focusing on this constant growth, and being in the program helps me to realize always how much I'm moving. I'm always going forward. So I encourage you, if this is what you have to have in business. Like I see the successful people and like here our coaches and other people that are in the program, like the ones who actually move forward, right? And for
Yeah.
me, it was another very beautiful and significant thing, which you mentioned, right? My contracts. Okay, we work here on an online structure for the online business, but for me, a lot of, because I shifted my identity 100 times already within these 5 months. So many other opportunities came within the business. So right now, what I'm also working on is to really release the pressure. Again, speaking of the pressure, I'm not free from this, right? Like I need to use
Yeah.
my own tools all the time because as a business owner, it's another story that I have to deal with. So I have to keep myself and really embody everything that I'm teaching to my clients and really release this pressure, melt the resistance as much as I can so that all these other beautiful opportunities can come. And sometimes, because I worked through my identity shift and I got to so much more clarity about what I'm doing, who I'm serving, how I'm helping, the money and clients appear in the most just surprising ways. So just
Yes.
be open for this. And you, Debbie, do it very beautifully. You always encourage us to see all these opportunities because sometimes it might end up for you to be a promotion at your current job, right? Or
Yes,
like
yes,
that.
we had somebody that
Yeah.
happened to. She
Yeah.
got a wild promotion and she was like, this isn't working. And I'm like, what do you mean it's not working? You literally only got that job promotion because they said, we see what you're doing. And she was like, ah, kind of like you in this incredible opportunity, your upcoming opportunity at this resort in Greece and the amount of money that you're paid and the wow, the experience that you're given in addition to the work that you're going to do there is we sort of tried to put a dollar amount on it
Not possible.
to show you and you were like, wow, you're right. And I'm like, no, that is you in your business. That is you in your business. And it's
I
just a
wanted to say
different
that it's
perspective.
actually, oh yeah, that it's actually not possible to put the dollar amount of it, that it's also beyond any number. Yes, it's beyond any number. You cannot put a number on that because it's worth so much more, all these contacts and just like being in this environment.
Yeah, I mean the daily amount of, not to go crazy about this one, but the daily amount to live there in this luxury resort, then consume their food, be on their property, besides being paid and also not working full time was like, wow. And you created all of that. You did.
Yes, so I definitely live my dream life.
Yeah.
And right now I'm consistently upgrading it. And ladies, it's upgrading. And if you want, you can just see me as a testimonial that anything you think of, it's possible. I grew up, to give you a context, I'm still in the number 8, but I grew up in Poland. This is a post-communistic country, not fun to be in. So I am the first generation. My parents grew up in full communism, like with no opportunities. They could not travel, like very poor condition. So I am the first generation that has these opportunities. So when I grew up, there was no one could, all I saw was people working 9 to 5. And I was just like, is this life? I was just really, and I knew that this cannot be life. And I just always had this inner fire. And I remember the first times, even just learning English. So I started to learn English, and it was so difficult because now things, you see me and you see this pretty much like you see this ready to go product, a lady that can speak fluently another language, that has successful business, that has contracts all around the world. And this is very much true, and it is my reality. And my definition of a dream is that if you dream it, it has to feel impossible, otherwise it's not a dream.
Yeah.
It has to be big enough, and it has to be something that really drives you, and it has to seem impossible. So growing in this like gray post-communistic country, even traveling to another country, speaking another language, making money, making big money, it felt completely out of any reach. But just because I had this belief and I was like, I'm never settling. So if you have this mentality, or like work, you should work on this mentality, then you're gonna make it. And you can think and you can believe and you can dream for yourself and make it your reality, anything you want. Because I'm traveling full time, I've been everywhere in the world. It doesn't have to be your dream, right? But I'm saying that you can exactly dream whatever I think and whatever you think. And I literally live my dream life. And this business now and working with Debbie is to contribute to it even better, and so that I can actually share my experience and make it to use to much more people, to inspire them, right? To inspire all these beautiful women so they can live in tension-free body and that they can enjoy and design their dream life.
Oh my gosh, yes, to all of that. We talked briefly about some changes maybe happening in your life or what the future could hold. One of the beautiful things about the future and a business like this that now has a foundation where you do understand marketing, you do understand about talking it, how to communicate, you do understand how you would coach, no matter whether it's this year, next year, or 5 years from now, you do have a signature process. You are growing a following and a brand on, you mentioned YouTube, on Instagram, you have an email list going out. You understand, like, in reality, like the package of what a business actually is. You understand how to assess it, how to look at it, which means that you can go anywhere with it. I mean, literally anywhere with it. And it can move and adjust with you as you grow and adjust in your life.
Yes, 100%. With you, I learned the basics. And at some point, I was like, oh, I could actually build another business. You know what I mean? That
Yes.
I could just build any business because these principles
Yes.
are applicable to any other business. Once you understand exactly that you need to know your niche, that you have to
Yes.
market, and market again,
Yes.
then you have to learn the selling process, and
Yes.
that can be applicable to any other business. It's not that I want to change my business, but since the only constant in life is change, so the beauty, especially of the business, right, that as we're creating freedom for ourselves, regardless what it means specifically for each individual, we will be changing, right? Like with every client, with every program that we finish as facilitators, we will be growing and changing. And this is the beauty that it's on us. And I love it. I love it so much, yeah, because for me that's the freedom. And then also I always want to change something because I want to improve, because then I already
Yeah.
see what I can do better. So this is also this entrepreneurial mindset that you need to have, right? Because this is what separates you from any other competition that you have, right? This is why clients come to you, because your process is the best for your people.
Yes. So I want to ask you about the little girl in Poland, to reflect to who you are, to consider who you are today compared to what that girl thought. And let's just talk about the upcoming opportunity that you had and I don't know about conversions or dollars or like lifestyle, how you would measure the difference. I know what your immediate financial goal is. And I would say, in reality, if you were to look at maybe what the income change or dollar change or something is in Poland, like you already are achieving it this year. I don't know. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like from what you thought that you would be getting if you were in Poland achieving this level of success instead of being the one who's traveling the world right now, what would that look like? And what does that mean for you?
Well, it's beyond any I could ever think of that's possible. Like I
Yeah.
live this life that I didn't know was possible.
Mhm.
So it doesn't even there was no words really to describe it, because this level of freedom and possibility, and really just knowing that like literally anything is possible. And I don't even know what to say. I think it got this is really
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
wow, this question, yeah, it really helped me now to see, and I got it happens very rarely, but I got a little speechless, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. I would love for you to reflect on that, Victoria, because this is the power and the fuel to the next level, because that Victoria already is a multimillionaire and you've already done it. That's not to say that you're not moving to the next level, but I'm getting goosebumps for you. What you have achieved in retrospect is you're just not giving yourself enough credit for. So I'm going to point it out to you is like, wow, you line up all the population of the people that you were with and what you have been able to create and have. And that is all your own doing. And I guess to wrap it up with that, you now have this skill set that I believe, I'm not patting myself on the back. I'm saying you said it. I can use this with any business. You do. You have this understanding of how to be in business, how to be a successful businesswoman, and it can literally take you anywhere to any dollar amount that you wanted to go to, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, 100%, yes. And I definitely live a multimillionaire lifestyle.
You do, you
Yes,
do.
definitely live a multimillionaire lifestyle, and any dollar amount, it's just a matter of time, and actually it's always, right? Like it's just like the matter of tuning
Yeah,
myself into next and next like higher
yeah,
reality that I just wanna live. And definitely anything is possible, and that is absolutely beautiful. And being in your container and meeting you, which is also another amazing story how I actually met you.
yeah.
I put an intention that I wanted a business coach, and I was like, there is no way I'm going for what should I do, even Google business coach. And then there was like just a perfect alignment, and I literally applied to one manifestation group literally just for a month. I saw you on one call, and I'm like, I like you. I like Debbie. Okay. And then this is how I didn't even know exactly what she was doing. And it turned out that her niche is female coaches 50 plus, which I'm
Not
close.
even close, which I
I'm not
love
even.
too. Yeah, I love too. Yeah,
I'm not even close to this, but somehow I was just like, and
it
we
didn't
just like,
matter.
yeah, we just
Yeah,
matched, aligned,
yeah,
and it's just working amazing. And I love all our ladies. So,
yeah. Yeah, we have another new coach you haven't met, Emily, and she just turned 40. And our other coach that works with us is 41. And another client that you've heard a lot about, Amber, is in her mid 20s. And so we have people under 50, and that's the thing about your niche. You don't ever have to worry about niching down too small, because when you have what somebody needs and they connect with you, they'll come to you anyway. I mean, my messaging, women over 50, wasn't Victoria, but I need what you have anyway. Can we work together? It's, well, of course we can. So,
yeah, and I even,
uh,
for example, you market a lot about helping people with tech.
yeah,
For example, for me, it was never really a
big
deal.
deal. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really not a big deal, but
Yeah.
you can learn it. Definitely, you can learn it there, like from scratch. But for example, for me, I'm like, I didn't even need this training too much, but like everything, yeah, it was just something that I was like, oh, it just feels like a great match. And then it was confirmed I'm staying even for longer time, because it helps you to stay on track. And since I've built already so much, I feel like I don't need that hand holding anymore
Yeah.
that much, but just to be able to grab a perspective and just like very specific, like this also amazing, like I see how my questions are changing, and I need only just like more specific
Yeah.
help. So there was a significant like so much progress. And yeah, in this conversation was really insightful, and I'm sure a lot of people, a lot of women can see themselves in this conversation from both sides.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Victoria, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the work that you do. Thank you for helping women. Thank you for making a difference in the world. Thank you for the work that you're doing on yourself, because that makes a difference in the world. Like all those things. I appreciate you. I love you. I'm so grateful to have you in my life and in our community. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Debbie, so much. And I love it too. And looking forward to all the things that are coming and our growth.
Yeah. And our Design Live Thrive Summit coming up in September.
Oh
Victoria will be
yes,
speaking
I'm
again.
speaking
So
again
yeah,
there in
yeah,
September, Design
yeah,
Life Prize Summit.
yeah. It'd be so fun. All right, you guys have a beautiful week. We'll see you soon. Thank you.